Hey everyone, what's the crack? I have here in front of me a package which was in Vietnam only about 3 days ago. This is the VNM shifter. You guys have probably never heard of it. Do you mind, cat? Cat? Psst. Come here. Do you want to be in the video? You lie here. Let's do that again. This shifter claims that it's as good as the Fanatec shifter. Let's check it out. So that is a very bold claim to say that you're as good as the Fanatec shifter. Let's start unpacking it. Here we go, got a blade. It's well packaged. This outer courier packaging is extremely tightly packaged, so it's not like in a loose bag. And come on, there we go. Right, so this is the shifter box. A little bit of compression from just the long journey that it's taken, but that looks pretty damn professional. A lot of tape on it. You can see the little bits of compression that I was talking about from transport, but I don't think that's anything to worry about. That box is really nice looking, guys. This is the back of the box. It's got a solid full metal construction, it says. H pattern or sequential shifting modes via interchangeable restrictor plate. Okay, so you get both of those restrictor plates with it, it seems. Customizable to your style of driving. Several different H pattern plates are available, so you've got different gear options, so that's handy if you want to block out certain gears or whatever. We've got fully configurable front RGB LED, which is very interesting. You don't normally see sim racing products with RGB in them, so that's kind of cool. You've got static colors or animated effects. We will be exploring that. I'm quite partial to a bit of RGB. Truck driver game ready. Interesting. So 2 button ports provide support for trucker style gear knobs with buttons. Okay. And quick and easy setup, plug and play, and no drivers to install. And it is proudly made in Vietnam. So that's really cool. There we go. So the first thing we see is an invoice. I did pay for this product in full. So this is a little checklist that you get with it when you order the product. It's got all the shifter plates and stuff that you get with it. Really nice little checklist here. I'm sure it's for their purposes as well as for your purposes, but it's nice to know exactly what you're getting in the box when you open it. So I've got a little box of hardware there. We'll open that in a second. So in here you can see it's all kind of foam. Pull this out. I'm really excited to see this now, guys. Nothing else in the box. We'll put our nice shiny box to the side. And here we go. So this is all taped up as well. I'm going straight for the shifter. Let's cut that. Oh, here we go. Really nice metal finish on that. What have we got in here? Different gear knobs. That's kind of cool. It's a really kind of a nice shape. A little bit of damage in here. There we go. You can see just a tiny little bit of damage in there, but that's something that you're not going to see anyway, so I don't really care about that. Another kind of slightly rounded knob here. Really nice. Yeah, I mean it's proper metal. It's really, you know, really high quality. That. Let's put these here so that you guys can still see them in the shot. We've got some threads in here. That's probably for our clamp. So I've gone for a desk clamp on this just because for the purposes of the review that kind of makes sense. Final thing to take out is the actual box itself. Oh, there are a couple of stickers on here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and plus and minus. So we can see those here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and plus and minus and reverse. I'm not sure where they would go. I have never put stickers on a shifter before, but well, there's good weight in that. Let's move this off to the side. Here we go. So decent weight in that. A nice shiny, so similar material. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Look at all the mounts here. So you can mount it pretty much whatever height you want, wherever you want. There's a little bolt here. I'm presuming that's for tightness. Oh, that sounds nice. Listen to that. Not sure if that's being picked up there. Really cool. Alright, we'll go into that in more detail at a later stage. That's pretty damn nice. So it has some holes at the bottom as well, so you can bottom mount it, which is pretty cool. It's got 2 USB ports, so these are for the trucker peripherals that they were talking about on the box. Got a little switch here to go between H pattern and sequential, and that's pretty handy. What that usually does with these type of shifters is you've got like 8 inputs for your H pattern, and then when you switch to this, it's actually like number 9 and number 10, so that it doesn't get confused, as in you don't have to assign gear 3 to sequential downshift or whatever. And your USB port, that little plate comes off, but we probably won't need to take that off. And this is for our top plates can come off here. So let's have a look at the top plates that we got. So I got a couple of extra top plates here. There we go. We've got a 5 plus reverse, 6 plus reverse, and 7 plus reverse, and we've got the sequential plate on here. These extra plates don't usually come with it. I've got 2 extra plates. You usually get 1 plate of your choice plus the sequential. Let's see, what's this little bolt about? Little bolt in here. Interesting that it's there, but it's not on the other shifter plates. And I almost forgot, it was only when I went to actually put the shift knob on that I realized there's some parts missing. So let's have a look in this little box. Move this to the side, have a quick look in this box, see what kind of hardware is in here. Obviously we've got some cables in here, and we've got the rest of our clamp as well, and we've got a little screw adapter. I think that is most likely what we need for the connection on top of the gear knob. So let's go straight for that. Let's get this on here and tighten it. That. And tighten this one on the other side as well. There we go. So that's not going anywhere. And then we grab our knob. Let's get this top plate off and see what it's like with a H pattern plate. Still not sure what this little bolt up here was doing. So it's a snug fit. There we go. Oh, it is attached to something. Oh wow, okay. So that's interesting. Inside here, I wasn't expecting to see the switching attached to this plate, so that's quite interesting. Can't actually see where that was connected to. Oh, it's not connected to anything. They're just, yeah, okay. So they're just switches, so it's just to get that click. Okay, that's a pretty good solution, I guess. And we've got some loaded little ball bearings in there, so that's a pretty complicated shifter plate. So if you're wondering about the price of it, that is there's quite a bit of thought gone into that. Now I know these are cheap enough switches, but that's a very interesting, that is an interesting mechanism. So you can make the throw longer and shorter as well. You've got little bolts at the side that you can tighten and loosen. Again, I was not expecting to see much in there. So as you'd expect in here, it pretty much moves freely. So you've got your left and right and switching it into gears. So the sequential lock on some gearboxes, you see it done from low down. It's actually done in the shifter plate up there. So it'll be interesting to see how it actually works if you I'm wondering, will you have to actually change the shifter plate just to go into sequential mode, which could be a bit of an issue as there's quite a bit of effort in that. I can't see how like if this is built into the shifter plate, I can't see how you would use sequential with the H pattern, which so this is meant to you know, compete with the likes of Fanatec and that. I think that might be, I would have liked to have seen a combined top plate, or at least a combined, and I'll show you in a second with comparable shifters how they switch between the but let's not dwell on it too much right now. So I can see, as I look around it, I can see just little bits of dinging that probably happened prior to the paint or the powder coat that's on this. Little bits of dinging around the place. It's nothing too major, but yeah, just worth noting. That metal is relatively soft. So how this is going to look, I mean, it's facing away from me now. It's facing the way it would be facing you when it's on your rig. This part is going to be RGB. And you've got first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear. These angles are all slightly different, so you can only mount this shifter plate one way. I've gone for the 6+ reverse because that's my preferred configuration. Let's see how this actually looks compared to some other gearboxes. So we've got a couple of its rivals here. So this is the VNM shifter, this is the Fanatec shifter, and this is the SHH shifter. Now, rough prices on this, this one is about €200, this one is about €300, and this one is only €100. Now the big difference here with this one is that this is a plastic housing. This one here has a nice metal housing, similar to what we find on the VNM. It also has lots of grooved slots at the side, so you can mount it to 80/20 or mount handbrake and stuff like that. So the back of it is a lot kind of cleaner looking, I guess, to an extent. Not that you're going to be looking at the back, but all the mounting solutions for this seem to be at the back. Multiple additional peripheral ports, which the others don't have. These just have, well, actually this doesn't even have a USB port. It has a Fanatec proprietary or an RJ telephone cable type thing, and this is a USB device. So one thing that struck me straight away when I was unboxing with the VNM shifter is that you need to change out the top plate to switch between sequential and manual modes. And for some that may be a deal breaker, I'm not 100% sure. Some people don't really use sequential, but for example with, let's take this one over here. If I want to, so it's in H pattern right now. If I want to switch to sequential, this has a clever little mechanism. You turn that 90 degrees, now it can pop up and down. The big thing being when you pop it down, so towards you there, it'll just pop back into the middle. When it's in that other mode, it'll obviously just stay in gear. So 90 degrees, and then to just register different inputs. Now you don't have to do this, but this just means you don't have to register third gear as sequential downshift and fourth gear as sequential upshift. This makes them separate, so it's actually like input 9 and 10. So that's pretty nice, but that means that within seconds you can switch between sequential and H pattern, and you don't have to do anything else, no setup, anything like that. So that's pretty cool. With the Fanatec, it's a little bit similar. So the Fanatec, you are obviously in gear shift mode. You can kind of hear that there, I guess. It's a very heavy shift. If you want to switch to sequential mode, you've got this little lever at the bottom. It extends to both sides. And when you flick that switch, like this, now you're in sequential mode. So it's one action. You can only go like this and like that. So seconds, I mean milliseconds, and here you need to change the top plate. So that's just worth bearing in mind. €100, €300. I'm saying €300 for this. It's about $260, but you pay an extra like €30 for USB adapter, whereas these are just standalone USB. If you have a Fanatec base already, this is about $260, so you might save a little bit of money there. So really, really interesting. And at first glance, if I just switch that back into H pattern, at first glance, this seems heavy, seems heavier. Now I've done zero adjustment on this, so you're going to have to wait for a proper comparison video at a later stage. I'm going to go and get this mounted, and yeah, excited about getting it on the rig. So there you have it, an initial unboxing of the VNM shifter. Again, €200, €300, €100. I'm going to be kind of comparing these, keeping these things in mind. So I think this is the best consumer shifter on the market at the moment. I think this is the best value. Let's see where this fits in. VNM did make a bold statement that they want to take on the Fanatec. So let's see if it is actually as good as the Fanatec. It might even be better. Let's get the grips with it. I'm going to be using it as my main shifter for the next couple of weeks. Obviously, in the back of my mind, I'm also going to be thinking about the fact that these may not be the absolute best shifters in the world. I am, of course, going to be taking a look at the ProSims shifter, which is a H pattern shifter only. And for sequential, I'm going to be looking at the Jinx shifter as well. So loads of shifter reviews and stuff like that coming up in the coming weeks. So that's it for the unboxing of the VNM shifter. If you have any questions, do ask me in the comments below. I'll be sure to cover that in my actual review. Look at all these toys. All right, I'm going to leave you to it because I've got work to do. Chat to you later.